Good evening, and welcome to the Buddies Much podcast. My name is Sean,
I'm Andrew.
I'm Chase.
and today we're talking about a horror movie mainstay, zombies. Now, first off, what is a zombie?
To me, the definition of a zombie would be a reanimated corpse, an undead corpse. I don't know. What do you guys think?
So is Dracula a zombie?
No, he's a vampire.
He's sentient.
Is Frankenstein a zombie?
No,
He's a
he's an amalgamation.
He's a monster.
Wait.
No, he's a doctor, okay?
Can we even use the Z word?
Yeah, we can. I think. See, that's super controversial because, like, apparently Marvel does have the word copyright, but I think everyone uses it still.
Like copyrighted? Like,
They have the word zombie copyrighted.
Well, because in
That's
some
so weird.
shows they will not say it.
I thought that was just trying to be creative.
I think, I mean, the classic example is The Walking Dead. They never say the word zombie. It's always walkers, biters.
I love the Georgia.
Them batters. Sickos. They call
the
them.
sickos, yeah.
Walkers.
Yeah, walkers.
Walkers
And I
again.
Think, walkers again. Crawlers. I think the reason they didn't use zombie was, according to the internet, is because in that world, zombie pop culture did not exist.
Yeah.
So they didn't want to use the term zombie because they didn't want to have the characters have a preconceived notion of zombies.
Of what a zombie was.
So
yeah.
they wanted to like start from scratch, which I thought was cool.
Yeah, I
makes
figured
sense.
it was a creative choice.
Yeah. As far as like the legal rights to the word, I don't know. That seems really messy to me. But I don't know. Zombies they've been around for forever. They've been in D&D. They've been in TV shows, movies.
Yeah, I mean that's why it surprised me so much because like even in modern
Video games.
in video games and modern movies like that it wasn't Tom Cruise, was it, in DayZ? No, it was.
You talking about Brad Pitt?
Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
You talking about World War?
Did they say zombies in that?
I actually don't remember. I don't remember that.
No, DayZ's
It's not
the video
DayZ,
game. World
it's
War Z.
World War Z. Yeah.
World War Z.
Those zombies were. Well, let me ask you guys this: when you think of zombie, what type of zombie do you think of? And you can use movies and media for reference, because like the World War Z zombies, they run and they're more aggressive
And coordinated.
Is that what you think of when you think of zombie, or do you think of like Night of the Living Dead, where a hand's popping out of the grave? Like when I say zombie, what comes to your mind, Chase?
When I think zombie, I think more like the Walking Dead zombies.
Okay.
Dawn of the Dead zombies.
They can't run.
That's exactly how I
They
picture
can't.
The Walking Dead.
Just mindless horrors.
You get bit, you turn into a zombie.
Yeah.
There's no cure.
They're stupid, in a sense.
Zombies are stupid and slow.
They come in herds. They don't run. They don't parkour. They don't. They don't strategize. Their whole thing is that they are persistent, and there's a lot of them. That's the
That's the threat.
downside. Yeah. So, it's the same with you, Sean. Is that what you think of when you think of zombies?
Yeah. Who was the guy who directed all those old zombie films? The
Romo?
George A.
Romero.
Yeah.
There was an interview with him where he was like, "It's really cool that like in this realm of horror movies and monsters that the monster is us.
Yeah.
It's just
cool.
people, and it could be anyone, and I think that's really interesting."
Yeah, that's an old one. He did Dawn of the Dead, I believe. George A. Romero.
Just a bunch of there was like a bunch of sequels to that.
Yeah. Let's jump into some of our favorite zombie depictions within media. So, what's your favorite representation?
My
of zombies?
favorite zombie movie. Now, I know it's not like the typical zombies, like Walking Dead zombies, but it's close enough. Pride and Prejudice and Zombies.
Oh, wow. took a more comedic turn. Interesting.
Main reason why
I never
is
finished that movie.
Pride and Prejudice is just terrible.
It's
Yeah, Mr. Darcy. I hate it. I hate Pride and Prejudice. I don't know how many times I've had to watch, all the different remakes of it. And then when Pride and Prejudice and Zombies came out, I remember watching it, and I was like, it makes the show way better. The movie way better, because it's Pride and Prejudice, but with zombies. So.
Okay. All right. Sean?
my favorite depiction of zombies. That's the one that I've enjoyed the most, or the one that I think is like most true to zombies as a.
The one that you
enjoy
the most.
I'm gonna go Call of Duty.
Call of Duty.
Call of Duty zombies. That the amount of time we've spent just sitting in the basement trying to just murder these hordes of zombies coming at us and getting down the strategies. It was a lot of fun.
Gotta get that mystery box.
It was my favorite representation of zombies, I guess. The one that I enjoyed the most.
Nice. I think for me it's The Walking Dead. I think they just blew it out the water.
Yeah.
It is annoying how in the later seasons it's more people versus people, which I get the whole apocalyptic thing that would happen, but I miss the early seasons when it was just them versus the zombies.
Just them surviving.
It was them, yeah. And
I do remember watching the show and being like, "What? I thought this was a zombie show."
Yeah, and it's every once in a while they're like, "Oh wait, you gotta stab a few of these." Okay, remember they're zombies, and it's
yeah. Just have a guy stuck to a fence. And
did
it's
anyone
ever
watch the Talking Dead?
I watched
after show.
one episode of that. Yeah.
Sometimes I liked the Talking Dead for a while because they would always do the recap of the zombies that were killed, and they would make it very comedic. But oh, it's Grandma Zombie.
Fun fact with The Walking Dead, when you see the zombies eating people or corpses, and you see them tearing stuff, and you see the tendons pull and stuff.
Oh yeah, that's real.
No, it's not. It's
they pay.
Do you know what that is? A lot of the times,
pig.
It's a ham.
It's a honey baked ham.
Yeah.
Honey baked ham.
And I think they pay them more if they're get in there, man. Just take a chomp, yeah.
Another thing about zombies that I really like, and it's kind of two different categories. You have your classic zombies, and then you have your special zombies,
the offshoots.
For example, Resident Evil.
Yeah,
I love Resident Evil. I think it's a great. The movies they're bad, but they're good. It's a weird thing.
They're fantastic.
Yeah, the games are amazing. Resident Evil they're zombies, yes, but then you've got the T-virus where it's making them different,
and they get these weird augments and
and I don't.
Kind of reminds me of Left 4 Dead.
Exactly. That's what. Yeah, I don't mind that kind of stuff if it's done well. If it's too wacky, it takes me out of it. Where I'm just people are getting superpowers and zombies are more
flying around.
more like people, and I'm okay, well, nah, kind of kills the mood for me. Is there any zombie?
So I wanted to talk about.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Zombie anomalies and so I Am Legend, the Will Smith movie. With the virus coming out and all the people are getting infected and they lose their body hair and whatever. Are those zombies?
I don't think so.
I wouldn't call them zombies.
What do you call them?
I would just call them.
Because I've heard vampire. I've heard zombies.
Yeah, because they can't go out during the day.
Yeah.
I would say vampire is more close to it.
Yeah.
But really infected. They're infected with a disease.
Just disease in general.
Yeah, they're infected because at the end of the movie, spoilers. You
haven't seen I Am Legend from 2008, 8 or 9,
something like that.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, he finds a cure, and the typical thing with the zombie stuff, end of things, there is no cure.
Most of the time, there is no cure, and it's because most zombies, the whole body except the brain decays.
Is dead,
so,
yeah.
like, I mean, unless you're curing someone,
Even if you did
minutes
bring them
after,
back, they'd be disemboweled. Like,
yeah, it's like they have no organs. But, I
Well,
mean,
yeah, with I Am Legend, I would just call them infected.
okay.
I'd agree with that. I actually didn't really. I liked I Am Legend at the time. Now, looking back on it, I don't really think it's that great of a movie, to tell you the truth.
I enjoyed it.
Anyway,
I thought it was good.
Same.
but
What about some of the comedy zombie movies? Because it seems like there's way more than those than regular zombie movies.
Two come to mind immediately. That's Shaun of the Dead, and Jason
Zombieland.
mentioned this earlier, Zombieland.
I really loved Zombieland.
It was funny, yeah.
yeah, I like
The second one, but the first one, I liked it. I think it was like a breath of fresh air because it's horror comedy.
Yeah. And I mean, that's kind of a hard line to walk between, because you want your audience to feel afraid for the characters. That's the whole point of the horror film. But then also like to throw some jokes in there. But, well, actually, maybe like that's a way to sort of relieve the tension and get people's guards down so you can scare them.
And Twinkies.
And Twinkies.
Also,
Actually, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say I really liked this video game called Dead Rising, and it just kind of drops you in like a mall, and you have to survive with whatever's in the mall.
Which
And-
is based off the movie Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah,
It's very
yeah.
much- yeah, it's that movie.
But I thought it was really fun to see how you'd run around and be like, oh, I need to go to the sports store so I can get a baseball bat so I can mess up these zombies, and the countless amounts of conversations that we've personally had about how to survive, and that's it. It's like, okay,
That was
50 zombies in a room right now. What do you do?
That
You know?
was most of our high school, honestly. It was
Just
like
like-
thinking about how to survive the zombie apocalypse and playing zombie games, pretty much.
Yeah.
And you know what? For us being little weird high schoolers, we had an okay plan back in the day.
No, it was good.
It was okay. I mean, looking back, was it the best? No. But
Speak for yourself. We'd be alive still if the zombie apocalypse happened back then.
you think your original plan of holding up
Take over the Costco.
holding up a Costco
No. Costco with a zip
With
line
the
to
zip
the mall.
line.
There
the
you
mall.
go. See, we have an escape plan.
Yeah.
And the armored truck and the loading dock.
Yeah,
Oh,
that was our
gee.
That's our GTFO.
that was our plan.
vehicle.
Good thing that the 16-year-olds had access to firearms and armored trucks and zip lines.
And not only that, like we were able just to like get the masses out. We're like, oh, this is our Costco.
Excuse me.
Everyone leave, please. leave all the contents in here, though.
That's funny.
Like, yeah, that's not happening. You
No,
know,
I have a different zombie plan.
yeah. What's your plan now?
It would just be hunker down in the forest,
Go live in the mountains.
Off-grid.
Yeah.
way off
Yeah.
grid.
Daryl style.
So, funny story. About a month ago, I was in the hospital. I was battling some health problems. And I got out, and one of the first things my wife said to me was like, you know, now that you've got all these health issues, you wouldn't last 2 seconds in the zombie apocalypse. And I'm like, that's really true, actually.
Yeah.
That's kind of a bummer. So, like,
We got to stock up now.
yeah, I was like, so now as I'm like at work and doing other stuff, I'm thinking about my plan, and it's just like, I live right next to a hospital, by the way. So my plan is just like, okay, I'm gonna like fortify my house, go find my medication, stockpile it, and then research how to replicate it so I can like not die. And like all the meanwhile stay safe. And I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm one of the. If this were a TV show, I'd be in like one season, and then they'd leave me.
That being
But,
hosed. And that's another thing with like, because this is not an uncommon topic to talk about, that all these people believe, okay, I'm gonna be the one who's the survivor. And it's like 99% of you would just be gone, like instantly.
Not me.
But that's what everyone says,
everyone
though.
says.
That's what
Everyone
everyone
says
says.
that.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I feel like I am more like prepared to survive an EMP than I am a zombie apocalypse.
I mean,
Because I feel like an EMP is probably way more likely than zombie apocalypse.
probably. Who knows? Maybe the corona will mutate. Delta variant, more like Zambo variant.
Oh yeah, so I guess we're only at D.
You gotta work our way
It has
over
to
down.
mutate all the way down to Z.
Corona, Delta. I don't want to come up with the rest of the names.
Let's talk about The Walking Dead for a minute. You guys fans of the show?
Yes.
John?
Which part of the show?
Oh gosh. Oh brother.
So for those of you who don't know, it's a long show. There's
It
like
is.
10 seasons.
The final season, the 11th season's coming out.
Is that did they say like that's the final?
That was my understanding. Is that
Okay.
the 11th season's the last season?
There's the 11th season, and then there's a Rick spin-off movie. I think that's going to come out.
Really?
That's a rumor. That's a rumor.
Yeah.
Rumor has it.
Because Rick left the show, and as soon as he left, he regretted it. So I think he's going to come back. That's what he said.
You think they'll bring him back in a season, or you think they'll do like a spin-off movie?
I don't know. I'm only end of season 9, so
Oh, okay.
I don't
And you're
know.
caught up, Sean.
I'm caught up.
And
Yep.
I'm caught up. So we can spoil everything for Andrew live.
Live.
No, stop! I love the show. I think it's good. It had a rough spot.
It has its ups and downs.
I think it was beginning of season 8, end of season 7, where it lulls really bad, and it's just, bro, let's get to the point.
Well,
And then end of season 8, they finally do, and there's some conflict and zombies and stuff. But it got a little boring with the whole people.
Fighting people.
Yeah, like it was this whole like power struggle with the saviors and everything, and I was just like, can we wrap this up?
I actually really liked the Saviors part when Negan was in charge.
yes.
Yeah, I
It was
like
that
that too.
after
But like
that.
that whole
Yeah.
that whole debacle between all the civilizations and stuff, it just took forever to like introduce all the civilizations, and it's like, okay, this is the junkyard episode, this is the oceanside episode, this is the hilltop episode.
Well, that's the thing.
I'm
with,
like, yo, let's go.
with
Let's
like a
get it done.
45-minute episode, you're sitting there and you're like, okay, there's no zombie killing. It's just politics here.
Yeah,
You
and
know,
I don't
well,
mind
Carol going off on her own.
Well, it seems
Yeah.
like that's every season. Is that the entire season is a build up to the finale where like 14 people die every season. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
like
Don't say anything
yeah. All
yet,
right, I won't
but
say anything, but
just in case Andrew hasn't seen that.
But even in previous seasons, like remember season 2 where they were hanging out at the barn with Herschel, and then there was this build up and this build up and this build up, and nothing was happening, and then at the very end, like Shane dies and the little girl dies, and just like
I didn't mind season 2 as much because like the drama that was in the build up I really liked, because you had the moral conflict of like Herschel, who's like, no, we're not killing the zombies because I know and love these people, and Shane being like, no, dude, like freaking kill them, I don't care what you say, and Rick being like, no, we have to respect him because it's his property.
no,
Well, and also,
I did that inner conflict. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool.
well, I did
And
like that too, because like as the show progresses, you could see how
they devolve.
yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
And I mean, I'm not saying I didn't like it. I was just showing like that's the structure of the season. That it's build up, build up, build up, build up. Bunch of people die. That's every season.
Yeah, I get that. I feel like the zombies become a little less relevant, and then when they start to become more relevant, it kind of picks up again
Yeah.
a little. I don't know. I think they could have done without Oceanside. I don't really like that settlement or community. I kind of forget about them.
They do seem to be just kind of doing their own thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, saving our lives like Oceanside, California.
Yeah. Who needs them? No.
What? Who? Okay, let me ask this: who are your favorite characters,
I think me and
like
you,
of all time?
I think me and you have the same answer, Chase.
Favorite characters of all time in
In the show,
In
The
Walking
show.
Dead.
you guys go first. I need to think.
You want to say it at the same time?
3, 2, 1.
Negan.
Yeah, Negan's pretty cool.
I love
He's the
Jeffrey
best
Dean
character.
Morgan. Just
He's
he's
so
great
good.
in everything,
He's
Yeah.
a really good bad guy.
I actually just watched.
and he's a really good guy.
I just
and,
watched The
You
Losers.
know, yeah. Oh,
That was a good one.
I remember telling you about that.
Mine's probably Rick, honestly.
Rick's great.
I like Rick.
Just
Can't
Negan's
deny
better.
Can't.
I really like Negan as well. I'm trying to think of people. There's people that get on my nerves, and I'm just like, whatever. But there's only one person I really do not like, and that's Judith.
Carol.
Grown up Judith. in the
Grown
later
up
seasons.
Judith. Yeah, I don't hate babies, but that baby comes out like, oh, get that out of here.
Gross.
Ugh.
Shane Spawn.
You're Andrea and Carol in the beginning seasons also get on my nerves.
I think Andrea is kind of necessary, and
Yeah.
I think what happened to her
She's
was
like-
perfect. That
Yeah.
like she was like the kind
You
of
love to hate her.
yeah. She was
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, like I can do this and I can do that, and like so often she was in over her head, and that got a lot of people into trouble, and she ended up dying because of it. And it was like, okay, yeah, that's fine. Carol though,
Yeah, I don't know what her character is.
she's just got superpowers, I guess.
I hate Carol so much.
Her character development's all over the place.
Yeah,
She's like, because I get that she like becomes this badass, but then she like breaks and wants to be by herself, and then she's like nurturing and comforting, and then she's a badass again, and then
Well, 'cause
it's just so
Because she always, like, her character, it's always, oh, run off, come back, run off.
yeah,
Like,
and she
no
always
care for who, you know.
it's just flip flopping between I care about everybody and then I care about nobody.
Well,
yeah, it's a lot of like, I want to do what I want to do, and I hope you support me, and if not, I'm still gonna do it. And it's just like, okay, so you're selfish.
I am
And
happy,
then
though,
she complains, and I don't know.
because in season 10, they make a joke about that, like, straight to Carol's face. Like,
Yeah.
Really?
oh, they're just like, oh, what are you going to do? Like, run off again?
Yeah.
That's funny. Also really liked Daryl. I think Daryl's a pretty cool character.
Well, Daryl's one of the coolest characters
Yeah.
in the whole series. Like that, and everybody loves Daryl. Like,
Yeah, they can't get rid of Daryl.
yeah.
But-
They keep putting him in like these terrible situations, and I'm just like, nah.
You'll be all right. Plot armor. Yeah.
I would love, like, okay, season 11. Or, okay, no, how about this? What would you love to see before Walking Dead wraps up?
So, what I really wanted, and I mean, I think most people want this, is more Rick. Like, so when Rick went out of the show, I almost lost all interest in it. Like, now that Rick is gone, it's just like Michonne's doing her thing, and like Maggie's doing her thing, and Daryl's doing his thing, and I really don't care. Like, I feel like Rick was kind of the driving force. I mean, Rick and Negan was in the later seasons was like the driving force of the show. And now that like Rick is gone, it's just kind of blah for me. So I do want them to bring Rick back.
What about you, Chase?
I would really like to see, let's say, I mean, just 2 episodes towards the end. Or even one half of an episode would be fine. You know, towards the end showing like 20 years down the road.
Oh.
Oh, that'd be cool. Like
You
an
know.
epilogue.
Yeah, just something like, you know, society's coming back up. Like,
Or not.
or not, but like I would love to see, you know, like it would just be so cool to see a show have that, like, because everyone thinks, you know, zombies, end of the world,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
But I'm just imagining after that, right? There's things in place. There's full civilizations that like run just fine. You know, kind of like little pockets that are back to the before ways.
I don't
You know?
think it could ever go back to the before ways. Just because, like, with population density and with the virus still around, anytime anyone died, it would be a threat. You know?
Right. But I mean, it would just be kind of cool to see something like that where it's like,
Oh, that, like, it restarts the cycle, maybe?
I don't know.
That'd be kind of cool.
Like, I'm just thinking like, you know, new way to live, you know.
Mm.
You have everyone has a device that the second their heart stops, it blows their head
up
off.
your- That would get
I mean-
messy. You can like around a bedside table, just like, oh, grandma's about to go.
But I don't know. I'm just like imagining something like that, like, you know, just like, yeah, 20 years later, you know, their civilization, you know, like because you know, like they've been devolving the whole time. But it'd be kind of cool to see 20 years from now, Judith running everything or something, and
Because of course she would.
oh, of course, but like in my mind, it would just be really cool to see like how civilization would be, just like a little snippet, you know, like we lived It's been 20 years, whatever. Like,
Yeah,
the end.
that'd be interesting.
My whole thing, I don't really care, like, if everyone dies and the zombies win. I think that'd be a cool ending.
Yeah.
I don't care if all the people kill all the zombies. Well, that'd be almost impossible, but it would be interesting. What I want to know is how the virus started.
Oh, yeah.
I have been waiting so long to figure out how it started. I've been waiting to hear information on the zombies themselves, but no one does research on the zombies.
They
It's
kind
just
of
like
dropped off a cliff in that one season.
The first
the
season.
first
wasn't it?
season when they
It
go.
wasn't the first season. It
Or
was
the
like the third or fourth or something like that, where they went to the CDC.
Yeah.
No, that's pretty early.
It's
Is
really
it early?
early.
It's before Herschel's
Nuh-uh.
because Maggie's not there.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's
Anyway,
the OG.
it's the first season. They go to the CDC, and the guy drops the big bomb. That even when you die,
Yeah.
you become a zombie. Why? Why is that happening?
Yeah.
And we never get an answer. I would love to have one episode, like towards the very end, where it's a flashback and it shows patient zero. I think that would be so freaking dope.
Well,
And
technically, that's...
again, I'm not caught up, so maybe that happens.
Well, no.
But,
It doesn't happen in Walking Dead,
No.
but
spoiler, it doesn't happen.
Fear the Walking Dead.
Oh, is it in that show?
Okay, we're not talking about Fear the Walking Dead. I'm
I
talking
never
about
saw
Walking
Fear
Dead.
Right. Well,
Walking
Fear
Dead.
the Walking Dead, it's
I-
same universe,
I
but
understand.
spoilers, it's not as good, and
Yeah.
it's like
It's very love triangle angsty.
they don't even talk about Patient Zero. It's just a little bit of stuff on the news.
Oh, okay.
It gets
No,
worse and worse.
I'm talking just Walking Dead, nothing else. That's what I would want to see. I'd want to see how the outbreak started, and I would want to see them like later down the line, like either find a scientist or they themselves like are discovering things about them, like like this certain thing they don't like, or this makes them die quicker, or this we're finding signs of semi-intelligence or something.
Yeah.
Where I want to see the development of the zombies. Like at this point, the humans, I'm like, okay, whatever. Like
Yeah.
I can take them or leave them. They'll win or they'll fail. I don't care. What happened in the grand scheme of things is just kind of bugging me.
It'd be
So
cool
that's
what I
to,
would
to
see.
like bring the focus back to the zombies as well.
Yeah.
Like,
Or it only happened in like the United States.
just the rest of the world's fine.
Wow.
They just built a wall around the U.S. somehow.
That's funny.
It was actually the Rona vaccine. I'm kidding.
But I mean something, right? Like I don't know. It'd
Just
be,
civilization, just fine outside the U.S.
but that's what I would like to see. I don't know if we're going to see that. But watching The Walking Dead makes me really want to read the comics. I don't know how different it is.
It's pretty different.
It's a little different.
Because I think in the comics I saw some stuff where like Rick had his hand chopped off. And,
They go in like a complete different direction at a certain point. And,
at
like,
that, maybe I'll like that. Maybe I'll start reading the comics and be like, oh, maybe this is more what I was looking for. I'm not knocking the show. The show's great, and I
Yeah.
understand that you can only put so much content into a show. But I mean, it is worth checking out where it came from. So
and plus, like, you're very. I mean, you said you're very limited what you can do in live action, and so
yeah.
you know. All right. Well, thanks for listening to our spooktacular.
Happy Spooktober, everyone.
Yeah, there you go. Tune in next week.